Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earle Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earle Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earle Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union,
by Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide, Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully, for Memphis Magazine, the Live at the Garden concert series, and the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis, and by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years. And brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services, owned by the cleanest man in the world, and by Walker Auctions, LLC. When it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earle Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome into Lansky's inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel. I got a big show lined up for you today. We got a lot of content and some music and singing, so we got a little bit of everything. Starting off first with Frank Roberts, who is the owner of Memphis Water Gardens. And he said, just don't call me Water Boy. I would agree with. I will not do that. It is a fantastic place. They're in the process of opening, a grand opening coming up 1st of May.
May 2nd.
May 2nd. And but just to give you an idea, first let's show you. Well, Frank is there, but let's show you some indoor shots of inside the building, which used to be Palladio there at Central.
Yes, we're in the old Palladio Garden building, and
it had a lot of antique doors, windows, columns, all kinds of stuff.
Lots of garden and architectural reclamations and salvage.
But what they've done now is turn it into water gardens, and the showroom is a good example of all the things that are there. From the water concept that they have, but these are, you can do them indoors, I guess, but most of your projects are outside.
Absolutely.
In people's front yards, side yards. It's inside a warehouse, but they've done an amazing job showcasing some of the things they do. That's the front of the building. We got some video of your big koi pond in there, which is absolutely amazing. Just watching that, and you say kids absolutely love it, but all people love it to see those beautiful fish. And then at feeding time, it's like feeding dolphins. These things are almost as big as dolphins. Is it rolling?
So you're going to start with your pond.
Yeah, let's do that. This is what most people's ponds look like here in the Mid-South.
Okay.
It's very relaxing. The hawks ate all of my koi. I didn't know what was getting in them, but Frank knew exactly. He said either blue herring, owls, or hawks are the big culprits. But more and more people love these kind of features, and they love it. Everybody goes up to see the fish. They go, they're gone. They're taking a vacation. This is inside, a video clip of inside the Memphis Water Garden. And so you see some of the things they do and how soothing the sound is. And you go there for inspiration, but they've also done other projects, and they've got a catalog of things that they've done. And it's truly amazing how much it adds to the enjoyment of your own property. Here's the koi. They love to eat. What is that? What are those pellets that you feed?
Yeah.
What those are pellets?
Yeah. Fish snacks. They're so greedy if you get them to take it. Here you go.
You always got one that muscles all the rest of them out of the way.
That's right.
These over here going, don't forget about me. But it is just amazing watching them. They have them at the Botanic Gardens.
Yeah.
That are about the same size. And you sell smaller ones to starter kit, I guess would be.
Yes. Yeah, so we have we call it our fish bar, a place where you can go through and you pick out various sizes, various qualities, goldfish, koi, and all that.
Let's start back at kind of the beginning, how you got into this, because I mean, I've always loved ponds. You started out because your folks had a pond.
Yeah, we actually had like about a half-acre pond when I was a child, and I used to really enjoy playing in the creek. And every time it would rain, I'd be floating boats down the creek, and had no idea that someday I would be doing what I'm doing now.
But it is you got a civil engineering degree.
Yeah, so in college I studied civil and environmental engineering, and was working part-time for my parents at Palladio, and worked a lot in the Palladio Gardens and selling fountains and installing those. And just one thing turned into another over time. It grew and grew and grew. Had no idea it would eventually be my career and put bread on my table and a lot of other of my team.
And you need a lot of bread. We were talking about his family. He has a huge family. Tell us about your family.
Yeah, so my wife and I have been blessed with a lot of kids, and we love them, every single one of them. I've got 7 kids with 1 on the way.
Wow.
We've been blessed to adopt 3 of our children, and then 4 plus 1 on the way, due May 22nd.
Congratulations. Great. And you live out in Fisherville on
Yes.
some property.
Yep.
And every kid has a responsibility. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my kids are at home. The ones who are physically able each have a responsibility, whether it's in the cows, the dairy, the goats, the chickens, and the turkeys. Each one of them have a specific responsibility just for teaching life skills and hard work and getting up and doing the chores, whether it's 2 degrees outside or 102 outside. The chores still have to be done. The animals have to be taken care of.
Which is always interesting. My son teaches riding, and his wife both teach riding and roping and all kinds of stuff, but also the care and feeding of animals. It's like you said, if you don't feed them, they don't get fed. And
yeah.
So it's always
We've had to have some conversations with the kids. Like, it's still got to get taken care of. I don't care how you feel.
My daughter didn't get that lesson with their little rabbit we had outside.
Oh, dear.
Said, have you watered that rabbit lately? But your whole life really revolves around outdoor activities.
Absolutely.
And living outdoors. And I guess it's also, it's kind of magical to go to somebody's property, look at it, and design something for them with all the elements they're looking for.
Yeah, I love walking into backyards and into landscapes with our clients, and walk into a lot of beautiful backyards, some that are future beautiful backyards, and it's beautiful to see them, but the dynamics that a fountain or a pond bring into an otherwise static, nice landscape, it just completely changes the environment when you've got moving water, the sound of moving water, and even fish that can be introduced.
You were saying in your showroom when you started building and you had your water features in there, but the day you moved the koi in, things changed.
Oh, it completely changed the dynamic in there once we were able to introduce those fish. You just got life brought into it.
Yeah.
Beyond just, the moving water's nice, but when you can introduce that living dynamic, those fish into it completely changes it.
Well, what I like about what you're doing, too, is it's not just about the construction and getting them started. You're there for the long haul because a pond, a water feature is something that is living, especially if you have fish in there. And that's a year-round thing. You have to care and feeding of the fish, but the ecosystem of a pond. You just don't fill it up with water and walk away.
Yeah, it's not a set it and forget it by any stretch. But if they're properly designed and have the proper equipment and all of that in place, it's actually surprising how easy they are to take care of. As long as it's properly engineered and everything goes in, it's definitely one of those things where if you put in the right amount of work and the right amount of design and care on the front end, it's going to pay dividends in the long term.
The thing I've had the most difficult time doing is finding somebody that will come clean my pond, because the yard guys are like painters. They come and they paint, and whatever gets spilled on the floor,
collateral damage.
That's your problem. And the same thing with their yard guys. They can blow the leaves off the yard, but a convenient place to put them is in my pond. And I'm always having to tell them that blow them away from the pond.
Right.
But y'all also clean ponds?
Yeah, we offer full services. We don't have to build it in order to service and take care of it. We've got lots of maintenance clients and service clients that we did not build. They were existing, whether they were built by somebody like Greg Touliadis decades ago, or it was DIY
Yeah.
pond, we'll definitely step in and help both with ongoing maintenance through our AquaCare program or through just service and repair.
What is the biggest, most often seen problem with DIY projects, apart from professional jobs? Because people think you can go look on YouTube and see somebody, this is how to build a pond. What is the most often repeated mistake they make?
Probably the most often is improper filtration or no filtration. So we use biological processes according to the aquascape method that Greg Wittstock really championed a few decades ago. And they've done a lot of science research and all that to figure out what the best biological filtration is in order to yield crystal clear water year-round with minimal maintenance. And so full sun, no sun, you should be able to expect crystal clear water with minimal care. It's just a matter of having that, because it's a closed system, it does take some extra input that an open system like out in nature does not.
Well, and but it's like the more you put into anything, the more you get back out of it.
Absolutely.
And what are some of the things that people have said to you when you come in and resurrected their pond?
Oh, wow. I think one of the most common comments that we get is basically stating, this is so much more than I was expecting. Hey, wow, I knew it was going to be nice, but I didn't realize it was going to be this nice.
So there is a wow factor.
Oh, absolutely. And so much of, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade going before, but our style of construction, we're really focusing on natural and making this thing look like it popped out of the mountains, out of the Ozark Mountains. And so the comparison between what most people are accustomed to as far as a DIY project and what we're putting in the ground once we're finished is there's a pretty big contrast.
I know one of the problems I've had is I've been there 22 years, and we had koi there. They slowly started disappearing, but I couldn't catch anything actually getting the koi. I thought it was cats. But I finally caught a hawk that was perched at a tree above the pond. He'd wait till he saw them surface, and he would dive in head first to get them and fly out. And I went, well, there you are.
We hear about hawks and we hear about owls. The most common is a blue heron.
Yeah.
That is definitely the most common. They are sneaky little guys.
Long-legged sneaky.
Yep. Most common thing that we've found that works well without having to put a net over it 365 days of the year is our heron deterrent system. And so we basically use fishing line elevated 12 to 18 inches off the water surface as a threat of entanglement against those aerial predators. And so far, we have not lost a bird, or have not lost a fish in a pond that has had that installed on it.
So it acts as a deterrent.
Yeah, we're just trying to make it easier for them to fish next door,
which is
what the pond,
what we
the golf
do
course.
With burglars. We make our homes less
Exactly.
attractive to break into than somebody down the street.
Exactly.
And so you're not harming the birds. We're not harming the burglars.
You don't want to mess with those birds. If Mr. Green Jeans finds out about that, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Well, it is but that's the kind of thing you consult with, and because every situation, every yard is different. The wants of any new potential pond owner is different. You also work in lakes, not just little ponds.
Yeah. So I mentioned I've got a background in environmental engineering, and thoroughly enjoyed that in college, but didn't realize where it was going to end up taking me someday. With the skills and the tools and the equipment that we have at our disposal, and just some personal experience in my background, I really enjoy working around the true lakes and earth bottom ponds. And so we've had the privilege to work on a variety of pretty neat projects with our team.
It sounds like with you, kind of like with me, really everybody, is that whatever you start out doing, it kind of starts leading to a place that goes like the old line about one thing leads to another. But all of a sudden, one day you realize that everything you've done up to now has been perfect background for what you're getting ready to do.
Right. Yeah, and it's pretty funny mix, but they all come together under the heading of kind of decorative and recreational water. So whether it's kind of your grandma's traditional 3-tier concrete fountain, or it's a koi pond and waterfalls, or it could be, a 3-acre lake with a leaking levee. We touch all of those and really enjoy working with any of them.
From start to finish, and of course it depends on the size of the project, but I mean, when you've got several crews working, so it's not like you got to wait till you get through with this job before you can start the next. Because this is the time of year people start thinking about doing something in their yards, which is one reason I wanted to have you on. It's you come in, do you come out first thing and have them come in? Is that what you consult, or do you go to their place first?
Now that we've got a showroom where you can see a lot of the options in the spectrum that's available, we like to start at the showroom with one of our design consultants, with Veda or with Leslie, possibly with myself if I'm available, and kind of walk through what some options are, what the price points are, and what the yard might look like. And from there, if it looks like we're going to be a great match, then we'll set up a time and I'll come out personally and meet with you. We'll talk about the space, about what you're dreaming about, what the budget possibilities are, and see if we can make all three of those things line up.
And then you can give them an estimate on time.
Yeah, we'll give a quote and talk about everything and how long it takes to install and what it's going to look like afterwards. And if all that works for everybody, then we get started.
Off we go. You're located on Cox over off of Central.
Yeah, if you know where the original Central Barbecue is at Central and Cox, we're just diagonal from them in the old Palladio Garden building. It's an old 1920s lumber shed that was restored a number of years ago.
But it looks great now.
It's beautiful.
Especially with all the wooden columns and everything in there. It all fits together. So get by your official grand opening is what, the 2nd?
Yeah, we're really excited. We're open now, but our grand opening is May 2nd, and so we're looking forward to being able to have that. We'll be open Monday through Saturday. After that, right now, it's Monday through Friday. So, but we'd love for anybody to come out and check it out.
Memphis Water Gardens, Frank
Yes.
Roberts, go see him and his entire team, and you've got some great people working there.
Thank you.
And I noticed I looked in kind of your office. Is it your dog, the standard French poodle, or is it?
That's not my dog. That's Jan, one of the ladies who works with us and kind of keeps all of our numbers in a row. But yeah, we'll have our poodle. Her poodle will be up there, and sometimes I'll bring my King Charles Cavalier up there and hang out with us.
And your
around
7
the office.
kids, so be ready for anything. But it is a human-friendly environment. Let me say
absolutely.
that.
Bring your kids up there. Let your kids feed the fish and play and have fun.
Well, thank you for coming on, and we'll
Thank
have you
you.
back. I'll come out. We'll go to some of your other projects and shoot
Yeah, I'd love
those
to.
and show more of what you're doing. I love you're a family man. You're a hardworking Memphian, and you're the kind of people that makes Memphis great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, speaking of great people, up next, Lance Walker. We're going to talk about auctions and why you should consider one, because you get a lot more money out of auction than you do selling it yourself over the internet. I can guarantee you that. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hellier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earle Farrell Memphis today. And we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Kerr Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25. And I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earle Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earle Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
You don't.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
And we're back. In with us right now is Lance Walker with Walker Auctions, LLC. Just back from, was it Iowa that you were in?
Beautiful downtown Algona, Iowa.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Well, it's some of the best corn ground in the country and also one of the best benefit auctions in the country.
We've got some slides here. Let me get back to them of the auction. And we've all been to auctions where you've been in charge here in Memphis, and usually it is a benefit auction, and so they always have it fixed up really nice.
And I'm in charge if Terry's not there.
I know the feeling. Here we go. This is a wide shot of this venue, and what I'm always interested in is you're up on stage with Terry, right?
Well, usually we work actually separate.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we work together.
But you have these guys that are spotters and women, and they're out in the audience, and somebody lifts up their hand, they go, "Ho!"
Yeah.
See, I could do that job.
You'd be good at that, Earl. That's a ringment. We call them ringment.
I could do that. It was because I've just watched people before, and the hard part for me was remember what the last bid was to get them to go to the next bid. How much was that again? 50,000.
Well, Terry's got an auction Saturday night here in the Peabody for FedEx Le Bonheur. So you just come and you can work the ring with her.
I'll do it. Hey! But these are, you go to these all over the country, not just locally here in Memphis.
And Earl, this is where they have it in their gym, okay? And so they decorate their gym up and make it look real nice.
Oh, it looks fabulous.
And Earl, this little school, I mean, maybe 1,000 people in town, they'll make about $300,000.
Wow.
These farmers love this little school, Bishop Garrigan High School, and they come and they support it. Yeah.
I was by your place over on Park the other day, and I saw some of these items that you recently auctioned.
Yeah.
I love this crossing guard walk because I think if they had dressed up the walk protectors, or whatever you call them, in that same outfit with the white gloves and people would recognize that's somebody you better listen to.
And of course, I remember that as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And that was one of the, to me, one of the best things. Coke is great about their paraphernalia, their signs and all that. And that right there, Earl, believe it or not, I think he brought $35,000.
Is it a real Coke bottle?
No, it's a real Coke bottle light. It's larger than you think.
Light.
See how big it is?
Yeah.
And it wasn't in mint condition. It actually had a mosaic chip out of the back. But there's they tell me, only maybe 12 or 15 left.
Wow, in the world.
And we were just lucky to get it, yeah. So we had bidders all over the country. A guy from Atlanta came and hauled that back himself. You know, he didn't want to take any chances.
Yeah, you buy it. You don't want somebody else shooting it.
No.
You had a guy here, we're going to get to this building in a minute, but to keep on the Coke thing, that had an entire collection over his lifetime.
Yes, that's what happened. And he died, and this was in his basement. And, you know, the widow said, you know, what can I do with it? And luckily, she had a friend said, well, you call Walker Auctions. And so that's how we get most of our business, by referral.
Do you think most people think that selling it like at a garage sale, you just put a tag on it and they're guessing?
Not like this. If ever anything was meant for an auction,
this was it.
This is it. I mean, this had auction written all over it. Yeah. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes we go and look at auctions, and we look at one about every day, Earl, believe it or not. We get a lot of calls, and sometimes there's just not enough there. And so we say,
but that's part of your consulting and your experience. You come in and say, this is perfect for what we do.
Yes.
And this is something you're better off doing, selling to your neighbors or your friends.
You'll make more money doing it yourself, yard sale, something like that. Yeah.
And you never really know what you're getting ready to walk into.
That's what I love about it. Yeah. We never know. One day I'm selling the house on Central, the Xanadu, and then now we've got a $1.4 million house in Lexington, Tennessee. Beautiful place, 75 acres, and I mean that's approximate, but I don't know what it's going to bring, but it's just a real nice home, and I love that variety, Earl. I like doing something different every day.
When something recently is to develop, we're live streaming right now, but you live stream most of your auctions.
A lot of auctions we do. It's called we call it simulcast, so that you can bid live or you can bid online.
And everybody has to get online before that, so they get a number. And
and then we have. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we run that on them.
But that's really changed the world of what you do.
It's changed everything we do. My wife Terry she won the bid calling competition one year, and that's still a big deal. We call bids at our conventions, and a lot of auctioneers, like if we're selling cattle, for example, something you relate to, in Texas or Oklahoma, still do live auctions, and
they do them everywhere. Like you go,
oh,
there's an auction in Hernando.
Yes,
every weekend they have an auction. People want to sell there, but then you hear about an auction in Missouri, and they're getting a lot more for the cows there, so people travel to Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. It's not the same price everywhere.
No, but it is. It's a dynamic that you really don't know what you can get. But what it does change is it's not you guessing. You're really letting the market take over.
Earle, I don't know what something's worth. That's one thing I've learned, Earle. I don't know what something's worth. The buyer knows what it's worth. It's my job to call the bids, run, take them, be exciting, and be an encourager, and get it to its maximum.
Les Kerr's getting ready to come on from Nashville. He's got a guitar with him. If you were looking, show me his guitar and say, what do you think that guitar is worth? I'd say a couple of $100. If he saw it, and you were saying, what do you give me a bid on this guitar? And he would start off at 1,000.
Yeah, right.
Because it really is $1. Oh, more than 1,000. He's proud of that guitar.
And see, Earle, that's the perfect example. That's you think it's worth something, the other person thinks it's worth another. You get your competition going, we get a price.
And because it's worldwide, really, because you're on the internet. Those bids could come in from anywhere in the world, and somebody that knows a little bit more about that particular item than anybody else.
Yes.
Is there a strategy in bidding?
Yes. Everybody has a strategy, and some people wait to the very last few minutes before they ever get in. They want to see what's going on. Others start early. Some people will jump the bid, like maybe we're at 100, and they'll just bump it at 200 or whatever. And jump because they think, well, that scares people away. That gets the Earle Farrells out of the way and the Lance Walker. Those
you
people,
go $2 and you got me out of the way. But watching like American Pickers, I've learned a lot from that. Because people will come in and they'll sit in the back and won't say a word.
Yeah,
because they think if it's somebody that is experienced that, and all of a sudden they start bidding, people go, "This must be worth something."
Yeah.
And so it muddles the bid for the guys that know what they're doing.
That's right. When we had the Coke auction, as you can imagine, we had a lot of people from Atlanta bidding because that's where Coca-Cola's based. And there are Coca-Cola clubs all over the country. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, collectors. And so that's when the big boys came in the last hour, and even when it's online, it's exciting to see the bidding go up like it does. Yeah.
And when you get on a roll like that, and they get faster and faster and faster, but you never slow it down. You want to keep that momentum going.
That's right. And even online, we can send them messages. We have a real good system, a bidding system.
So somebody's on a computer there in the room.
That's right. We can say, hey, you're out, and do you still want it? And who knows when it's going to come for sale again? We send little messages,
Does anybody ever want to change their mind after the bidding is done, or how do you phrase that? You say all sales are final on the final bid.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you that hadn't happened. It has happened, but it's rare because we're so upfront about that, and it does happen, but not often.
I love it when we go to Fort Worth for the big Fort Worth Stock Show, and they have the auctions there: horse auctions, cattle auctions, longhorn auctions, everything you can imagine. And you'll look at some guy over there with an old beat-up cowboy hat. It looked like he just got in from the rain. Yeah. And he won't say a peep. Some horse cut out to get to 20,000. He goes, 25. And I go, that guy doesn't look like he has a dime. But you can't judge anybody by what they look like.
No, I look for the guy in the bib overalls with the tobacco stains down the front. He's got money.
He ain't spending it on clothes. You've got some events coming up this week.
Yes, we do. Terry is. I have GPAC in Germantown. That's a very well organized auction, and then Terry's here at the Peabody. With the FedEx Le Bonheur auction, which is a huge event. They fill that ballroom up upstairs.
So you're doing things nearly every weekend here. Then you're traveling in between.
Do a lot of travel. Yeah,
and you also do real estate. And in fact, I've got a picture of one of your recent projects. Let me get to that Okay, here it is. This was over on,
Central.
on Central Avenue, and it was an old bookstore.
Right across from Central Barbecue. Yeah.
And how long did it sit there? Because they had it for sale for a while.
He went through several realtors, and he was asking all kinds of prices, and he came to me and I said, look, there's only one way this will work, and that's that you take the bridle off the horse and we sell it. Just let her run. You can't have a reserve.
But this is what you were showing. It was
that's what it was like before we got into it. Yeah.
And
now we did clean it up. We'll do that. And I don't know if you have another picture, but there are pictures where it's cleaned up. But anyway, location. And that's what's important.
And so, what did he think? Did he come up with what he thought it was worth?
No, we didn't. He just said, I'm ready to sell. He had moved away.
Yeah.
He said, I got to put this behind me. This is the last thing we have. And I didn't think it'd bring anything like it did, but I was glad I was wrong.
So was he.
Yeah.
So what did it end up going for?
$180,000. Yeah.
And which is a lot more. Was he shocked?
Oh, yes. Pleasantly
He probably
so.
thought 35, 40,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is why you say you never know what the work.
And Earl, you think about, we had a lot of people. We had probably 10 people bidding on that, and these aren't foolish people. These are wise investors. I know them. Live here in Memphis, and they have a plan for that property, and they will make money on that. They know more than I do about what to do with that property.
So when you get ready to do an auction, do you send out? Do you just put something up on social media? How do people find out about it?
Well, we have several thousand people on our email list because we've been around so long. As you can tell, I'm pretty old, and
I think I'm older.
And so we have a nice mailing list. But Facebook, Google Ads. We go through a advertising agency that really takes care of us, and we promote it.
Getting the word out.
Yeah.
So when you show up at all these places, you look out there in the audience, the people are there bidding. You know some of the big players.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yeah.
But you treat everybody the same.
Oh gosh, yes. I like to get out in the crowd and have fun with them, and I love a good auction.
The thing that's very important in auctions, though, is really trusting the auction company.
That is huge. Integrity. If people think you're hoodooing them, you're running them up on the bid or something like that, they will just shut down. They won't bid. They got to see where the bid's coming from.
Well, and you told me about there have been people that buy collections from people saying this is worth very much. I'll buy it all lock, stock, and barrel for this.
Yeah.
Then they take it to some place and have an auction and make 10 times the money.
They do, yeah.
That is a hoodoo.
That is when you were hoodooed. That's right. That's when I wish they had talked to me first.
But there's a lot of things about an auction. Is there a learning curve?
There is.
Somebody comes in and says, how do we do this?
Yeah, there is a learning curve. It took me probably 2 years to really grasp the concept of it. I learned under Terry's dad, my father-in-law. He was an auctioneer. We both did. And it takes a while to learn.
What were you doing before you got into the auction business?
I was an off-campus faculty member for the University of Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a master's degree in guidance counseling, and I was working for the University of Missouri. And a desk job, basically. I mean, I get out.
Because you have such an exuberant personality. I mean,
well, I've always, since I was a kid, Earl, I've never been bashful. I've always liked getting in front of people. I don't know why that is. My mom and dad weren't like that, but I love a crowd. I love to get up in front of a crowd.
And in a way, you're entertaining.
It is entertainment, yeah. Yeah, it is. I should have been at McMahon at Johnny Carson. They never called me.
Well, you got a good laugh, too. That would go along with that. Was it hard for you to get comfortable, though, in front of a crowd doing it? Day one, you just walked up there?
No. I don't get nervous. I get excited. I get anxious.
Yeah.
But I don't get nervous. The numbers just come automatically. After you've done it for years, you don't even think about numbers. I'm thinking about how can I get Earl to bid one more time?
Yeah.
Can I pull him in with my hands? Can I say something clever? Like, Kathy really wants that. Or, never degrade a buyer. Never say, that's cheap. You're cheap. Don't ever do that.
Or say, are you done? You can't afford anymore?
Yeah. Never do that.
Never be insulting.
Hey, just bid one more time.
Yeah.
You might get it. Why don't you bid one more time?
And then animals, when it comes, not cattle, horses, but pets. I've seen they'll bring a puppy to an auction. I'm amazed what puppies go for.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's almost like stealing money.
You get a little puppy up there with a nice pedigree, and there's no telling what it'll bring.
And it's usually women that get their husband. You buy that. I want that.
Yes. And lately I've seen a change because people were worried about that maybe you'd buy it on an impulse and then not take care of the pet.
Yeah.
And so now they're having a break-in time where, okay, you bought the pet, but we got 3 months here of you breaking in. We're going to keep it here with the vet, and that's a good thing.
The dog may not like you.
That's right.
Yeah, happens.
I hadn't thought about that one.
In fact, my son and his wife had this dog show up on their place one day, and so they kind of rescued it and kept taking it to people saying, "You want to see if he wants to live here?" And they'd say, "He ain't working out here." So about 3 times this happened. They named him Boomer, short for Boomerang, because he kept coming back, and they finally said, "Hell, let's just keep him." He's turned out to be a great dog,
Really? Yeah.
So he said, "I'm happy here. That's where I want to stay." If somebody's interested in contacting you,
yes, email me, Lance at walkerauctions.com. Our website is walkerauctions.com, or call me 901-493-1936. 493-1936.
And it really doesn't matter what it is.
We
your
don't care.
little spot that we run in the middle of the show, it could be a
Yeah.
lawnmower, it could
Yeah.
be an antique truck, it could be a house trailer or houseboat.
We have monthly equipment auctions, so you can put it in there. We don't consign furniture like that, but we do bigger things like cars, boats, ATVs, things like that.
Do you ever have like the man caves that come in? The wife says, "Get this out of here," and you sell a whole man cave.
Sounds like you had experience there, Earl.
Well, no, I'm protecting mine. I got a no-sell bid on that. But so just about anything, and
yes, if it's saleable, it's amazing.
And you're growing, and
we had a great year last year, and it's. I guess I'm learning the more you stay in it, the more business you're going to get. So
well, what I love about you is your energy level. I told you that the other day when we brought your place.
Thank you.
Because it's contagious.
Yeah,
and it's obviously you love what you do.
I do. I love what I do. I believe in the auction method of selling. I think it's the best way to determine what is something worth.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Lance Walker, Auctions LLC. Give them a call and improve your life, or get rid of that old tractor.
There you go.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and after that, Les Kerr will be entertaining us. So stay with us.
He doesn't sweat. He exudes cleanliness. He doesn't wear a hard hat. He wears a halo helmet of hygiene. He doesn't just clean up the mess. He makes it ashamed of itself. He once found a Cheeto from 2003 and gave it a proper burial. His mop water is filtered through the tears of sloppy contractors. He uses Purell the way priests use holy water. His laundry detergent has PTSD. He's banned from construction sites for making everyone else look filthy. His laundry folds itself out of respect. He was voted most likely to disinfect in high school. He showers before, after, and during showers. Even Mr. Clean calls him Sir. He carries wet wipes holstered like pistols. When he sneezes, the room becomes 99.9% pure. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, I disinfect the glass first. Stay spotless, my friends.
I'm Lance Walker, fast talker. This is Eric Walker, and we're auctioneers and realtors with Walker Auctions, based here in Memphis, Tennessee. We help people sell assets. We can sell your house. We can sell your land. We can sell the contents of your house. We can even sell things like your four-wheeler. We can sell your mule, your pickup. We can sell your trailer because we sell a lot of equipment. If you've got a business to liquidate, we can help you do that as well. Go to our website at walkerauctions.com. Or if you want to, give us a call, 901-493-1936. And remember, when it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around.
By the way, that's Lance's son, Eric, playing the violin. I offered to sing that, but he declined. Smart. Our next guest can sing, can play musical instruments.
Lance didn't make me any offers either, so I don't know.
He offered you $1,200 for the guitar.
That's right.
He said, well, this is about $4,000, so thank you very much. You didn't take that deal. This is Les Kerr from Nashville, but he's not originally from Nashville. You grew up in Louisiana, made your way through Mississippi up to Nashville. How old were you when you got to Nashville?
I've been there 37 years now.
So you've really seen it change.
Yes, I have. In the last 5 years. I tell people sometimes when you're downtown Nashville, if you blink your eyes, when you open them up, it won't look the same.
All you see are those big cranes.
But I've enjoyed being there. It's a great place for me to be. But my history of Memphis goes way back. I was born in Louisiana and raised in Mississippi, and my grandparents lived in Jackson, Tennessee. So when I was a kid, would come visit them. This was our big city. So I've been coming to Memphis for a long, long time. And then I went to school at Ole Miss, and my parents could tell how many nights I spent in Memphis by my grade point average when they got the report cards. But and I've played over here quite a bit over the years too, at different places and different events. The Southern Festival of Books was held here a couple of years, and I performed there. And then I actually wrote a book called Tennessee. Wrote the text for a book called Tennessee. And when Davis Kid Booksellers had a store here, I came over and did a book signing, and they put me on Channel 13, and it was and I've done a lot of private events.
In fact, you said if you'd known about the Hillbilly concert going on at Shelby Forest this weekend, you would be in there.
I would be doing my best to play there because it's the perfect event for what I do. I love events where people have a good time.
You're here. You came in today to Lansky's because you were picking up a couple of new jackets.
Yes.
That's what you wear. This is a Lansky jacket you have on. Probably
yes, it is.
Too.
And I've been shopping at Lansky's for about 15 years at least. And Hal and I have become good friends, and Julie too. And so it's good to, and it's nice to meet you. I watch you on YouTube and on Facebook. So.
Was it when you got to Nashville though? Because it's different from other parts of Tennessee or Mississippi or Louisiana. And you're showing up, and you don't know anybody. You're a young guy, and was the Bluebird Cafe there then?
Yes, it was. And I started that was the first stage I ever stepped on when I played in Nashville. And they've been extremely good to me, and they're good to a lot of other people. And it's a really good showplace for original music, which is what we all moved there to do. But you know, it's funny. I had grown up on the Gulf Coast, Pascagoula, Mississippi. And then I ended up in Mobile, Alabama for about 5 years as a radio news director. You and I have that in common, as being in TV news and radio news. And at that time, I was 29 years old, and I had never been married, and I had been playing the guitar from the Florida Panhandle to New Orleans, up and down the Gulf Coast. And I thought, if I'm ever going to see if I can do anything else, let me see. And I had looked at Atlanta, actually was having a blossoming music scene then, but Nashville has always been close to my heart, as has Memphis. Anyway, so that's how I've been there almost 30 years now, and almost 40 years, I should say. And so
time flies.
I know it really does.
I'm sure you do have young people come up to you and say, like, I'm new in town, I saw you at the Bluebird, and how do I get in this? How do I make it here?
Well, the thing that happens to me is I'll get people that say, especially when I'm traveling outside of Nashville, they'll say, I've got a nephew or a son or a friend who is a really good player or songwriter, musician, and they want to move to Nashville. And I always say, tell them to stay home. I got enough competition as it is. No, seriously, Nashville's a very friendly town. I mean, that really helped me. People who knew the ropes were very kind to me. So I think that once you get there, make friends. That's like anywhere else. And the music business is the music business, and that's the way most business takes place, when you develop relationships. And I think that's and you try to learn. And as a songwriter, I hope I've learned a lot over the years.
When you see other people that come in and they just get to town and you're performing there, you get up and do some of your songs because you're a songwriter and performer. And you do learn a lot. There really is no substitute for experience. At least that's what I've found in my life.
Well, I'm fortunate in that I'm a performing songwriter. Some songwriters don't play an instrument or don't perform.
Yeah.
I can see how the audience literally reacts to every song I play. No matter if it's a writer's night and you play an original song, you can kind of tell if they start looking around the room or whatever. And
drink.
Right, exactly. And I've actually changed songs based on the audience reaction.
Absolutely.
If there was one song I wrote that was I thought was hysterical, but it was only hysterical during the first verse. And after that, people kind of lost interest. So I went back and rewrote the other verses. So I'm fortunate that I can get out and do that. Now, a lot of people who are great lyricists and maybe composers but don't like to perform in front of people don't have that advantage. So I'm just a natural ham, and that helps me out.
But also, when it works, there's no thrill like being on stage doing something that people really appreciate.
Absolutely. And when I was learning how to play the guitar and starting in Pascagoula High School, I had a little, I mentioned the influence of Memphis. I was a big fan of the Sun Records artists, and my group was called Les Kerr and the Blue Suede Band. And this was in the early 1970s, and everybody else was covering people like James Taylor and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I was hanging on to Elvis and had a little scarf and everything. But I'll tell you, the thrill of performing in front of people is really what got me. It's made me a better guitar player and I hope a better songwriter.
Well, speaking of songwriting, you brought your guitar, over $4,000 worth of guitar. And it's
unless I can get a better bid, I don't know.
It is a Gibson Hummingbird.
Yeah.
And tell us about that. I mean,
well, I like the Gibson brand, although they don't endorse me or anything. I just like the sound. But a guitar, and I own other brands as well, but a guitar really is what the player wants. And I've always loved the sound of this. It's got a spruce top and mahogany back and sides, and it just has a nice ring to it. So that's why I like this particular guitar. I have a Gibson electric guitar as well.
In fact, some of the shots we have of you that took have electric on the stand behind you.
Right.
So it depends, I guess, on the song you're playing as to what
it
you
does,
want to play.
Yeah. Some songs are more suitable to electric, and at least in my mind there are.
Now, do you have a band you also play with?
I do. It's called the Bayou Band, and when we're at our full capacity, we're 7 pieces with 2 saxophones and an accordion or keyboard player.
Squeeze box.
I do put that in there for my Louisiana and Gulf Coast background, and it gives it a little difference. You know, in Nashville, you mainly have steel guitars and fiddles. Well, we occasionally will have a Cajun fiddler, but that's about it. But anyway, so I try to make it my own. And when I moved to town, people used to ask me what kind of music I played. And growing up, I heard everything from New Orleans rhythm and blues and Dixieland jazz to gospel and country and bluegrass music growing up in Mississippi. And my mother was a huge big band fan. So I grew up with all this Glenn Miller music around me.
Sure, I did too.
One of the events I came to in Memphis while I was a student at Ole Miss was a concert at the Cook Convention Center by Les Brown and his Band of Renown.
Wow.
And they were doing a tribute tour to the Glenn Miller Orchestra. And some of the Glenn Miller band members were still alive and still playing with them, and it was really wonderful. So I've got all that going on. And then my mama had that record Everybody's Mama Had by Harry Belafonte. So I call, when people used to ask me what it is you do, it's called Hillbilly Blues Caribbean Rock and Roll. That sums it up right there.
We cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I remember the first orchestra I ever heard was downtown Odessa, Texas. And my parents were downtown. There was some department store, not a very big one, was opening, and they had the little bandstands in front of each one. They had trombones, trumpets, drums, and I'd never heard anything that loud before. 'Cause I'm a little kid, and I didn't know music could play like I'd heard it on radio and TV, and I was stunned. And you never forget the first time you ever hear real live music.
That's right.
And so we're going to hear some right now.
I'll play the song that sort of illustrates the music that I just told you about. This is called Hillbilly Blues Caribbean Rock and Roll. You can stretch my broken guitar strings from Pascagoula to Ocean Springs. Played all kinds of music on the Gulf of Mexico. Well, I played a little country, played a little rock. I played uptown and around the block. Whatever it takes to give the folks a show. We're gonna take a little bluegrass, mix it with the blues, and you stir it like a good gumbo. Add a little reggae, hit it with a beat. It's the Hillbilly Blues Caribbean Rock and Roll. See, I told you it works. Now those sunburned southern rhythms blow from the Swanee River to the Black Bayou. People like their cooking and their music Tabasco hot. take a little bit of cayenne, cook it in the rice, take the rhythm and the blues and Jamaican spice, mix them all together, and what a roux you've got. We're gonna take a little bluegrass, mix it with the blues, and you stir it like a good gumbo. Add a little reggae, hit it with a beat. It's the hillbilly blues, Caribbean rock and roll. Well, I like to hear the steel drums and a mandolin grooving in the very same song. Add a Cajun fiddle, a slide guitar, and like a shrimp boat, we'll just rock along. We're gonna take a little bluegrass, mix it with the blues, and you stir it like a good gumbo. Add a little reggae, hit it with a beat. It's the hillbilly blues, Caribbean rock and roll. Like a good gumbo, like a shrimp creole, like a rock and roll.
Well, I tell you, I'm hungry.
Thank you.
Very good.
They say you should write what you know about, so there's always a lot of food references in my songs.
If you love it, and everybody loves gumbo and shrimp. When did you realize you had a voice?
Well, I remember when I was a little boy, I tell people my two major influences in music were Roger Miller and Elvis Presley. Because I loved, when I was growing up, Roger Miller's novelty songs, like Do Wackadoo and Dang Me and all those. He really was a very good, serious songwriter. But anyway, that's what kind of drew me. And then when my mother told me that he wrote his own songs, that fascinated me too. And then as a performer and just watching somebody, I was able to see Elvis in concert 3 times.
Wow.
And I have a ticket to see him on August 28th, 1977 at the Mid-South Coliseum. I have that in a frame, but he had to cancel that one.
He did. He had to leave.
But anyway, I guess, so I would sing along with records.
Well, we all do, but we don't sound good. And, and at some point...
I have my moments.
But at some point, somebody told you, hey, you got a talent for this.
Well, I knew when I got people to kind of listen to me, just friends, in living rooms and dens and places like that, then there might be something to this.
And the guitar, is that the only instrument you play?
It is. In fact, I'm the only person in my band that just plays one instrument. Although if you count the electric and the acoustic guitar, I guess I'm a multi-instrumentalist. But, the guitar, I started when I was in 3rd grade. I thought, I want to learn to play the guitar. And so I got one and started taking lessons, and I just wasn't ready yet. I kept the old guitar, and then I went to, when I was in junior high school, I started picking it up again, and I bought a book on teaching yourself how to play the guitar. And that's really what I've done. And we had a real musical high school, and there were a lot of people that knew how to play. So we all swapped information as we knew it.
Well, now my son and daughter both learned on YouTube. They just download other kids teaching other kids how to play the guitar.
Well, there are adult things on YouTube you can learn, like Tommy Emmanuel and people like that who are excellent guitarists. Sometimes do not necessarily instructional, but they'll show you how they play a certain lick, so you can kind of watch that and learn.
And the rest of it grows with your interest and your talent
and your dedication.
Yeah.
When people say they want to learn to play the guitar, I tell them, be prepared to just be bad for a while, and you have to have patience. And after a while, all of a sudden, it'll sound like that, but it's not automatic. And when I was in 3rd grade, I didn't realize that. I was so frustrated with myself, I said, I can't even do this. But now I do it for a living.
Well, my parents knew me pretty well. That I'd lose interest in things very quickly, and I begged them to buy me a guitar. They went to Sears and Roebuck, got me this Sears with this black and white string for the strap.
Oh, yeah.
And it had a musical note on the side. It was black with a white musical note on the side. I was so embarrassed by it, I would walk down alleys to go take my lesson. And it wasn't much better at the lesson.
My first one had a little, like a Western scene of a cowboy riding a horse and shooting a pistol and playing the guitar at the same time, like Gene Autry used to do in the movies,
Yeah, that really happened. You got another song for us?
I do, and since we're here in the Peabody, I love the blues, and I love the history of literature and music. And this, actually, the first line of it is from David Cohn, the famous author, who said, famously, the Mississippi Delta begins in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel and ends at Catfish Row in Vicksburg. It's a treat to be able to play this song in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel in Lansky's.
Absolutely.
So this is called the Sharecropping Cotton Chopping Delta Blues. Mississippi Delta, where the tall blues grow, from the Peabody lobby down to Catfish Row, You can chop that cotton with your weary hand, but you're working for nothing if you don't own the land. In your overalls and your holy shoes, you got the sharecropping, cotton chopping Delta blues. It'll be a Mississippi of thee I sing. It's the land of cotton and B.B. King. You can work the fields till you just worn out, and nobody knows when you're talking about. And you can have yourself all and pay your dues and get the sharecropping, cotton chopping Delta blues. To a cotton picking rhythm you begin to sing, then you nail it down on a guitar string. If you can make a song from a field hand shout, then a slow buzz to Memphis is a quick way out. And you can tell the folks how you paid your dues and sing the sharecropping, cotton chopping Delta blues. You got the sharecropping, cotton chopping Delta blues. You got the sharecropping, cotton chopping Delta blues.
All right. You know, Hal's daddy.
Thank you.
Used to go down to the river by the old bridge before anybody else opened, get stuff from the Lanskys, work gloves, work clothes, hats, all that kind of stuff. Go down there and sell it to the workers when they would get picked up by the farmers, come to take them out to pick cotton. And he'd show back up about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at the store, and he'd be unloading his car, and he'd tell me, all these other store guys, where you been? Where you been? He's like, I ain't telling you nothing. I've been out taking care of business, and he took care of the sharecroppers and the cotton pickers, and wherever there was business, that's where he went to get them to come in. And so, very apropos song.
Well, thank you. It's, like I say, it's a real treat to be able to play it right here, too.
Well, it is a great place, the hotel, Lansky's, everything, and everybody that comes here. You can tell they really appreciate it, you know, just shopping here and then coming to the lobby of the Peabody. And
well, it's a destination. I mean, I drove over from Nashville today just because I wanted to come and visit. It's been great.
And, you know, the Peabody just got a couple of big awards, I think, by Southern Living. It was voted one of the best hotels in the nation historically. And AAA gave it the 5 Diamond Award to Chez Philippe, the restaurant here. And I tell people all the time, there's really not anything like this in Nashville. You got the Hermitage Hotel, and it's nice, but it's not on the same plane.
Well, I love the Hermitage, and I go there. You know, Nashville has some great places, and like I say, I've lived there for 39 years now, and I enjoy both cities. I think there are treasures in each one.
I agree. I want to show a couple of your albums here. You've got Les Kerr, As Is.
As Is, and that was a shirt that Lansky sold. One of the first shirts you sold me, Hal, was in that album cover. And the As Is a live album just with me and a guitar like you're hearing right now. The one on the other one is my newest one, Child of Highway 90, which has our full band in it and other different kinds of music. So anyway, I think that if people like it, they can be found online, as they say.
And then you'll be headed back to Nashville. Is there someplace you play regularly in Nashville?
Well, I play a lot of different special events. Like we're going to do for the 8th time with my band, we'll be doing the big citywide 4th of July celebration. And I do play the Bluebird Cafe occasionally. And I travel some. In fact, I was in Brownsville in March to do a Mardi Gras show. And I've headlined 34 Mardi Gras shows at the Bluebird Cafe. So we do, Mardi Gras is like tax time for an accountant for me. I get really busy during Mardi Gras.
I always like Mardi Gras away from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. It's
just as much fun. You don't have the crowds.
Well, when I lived in Mobile, Alabama, which is actually where it started in the United States, I liked it a little more because it was more low-key. It was not the wild and crazy. It's still a lot of fun, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
well, thank you for joining us today and coming down here. Start sending us messages on where you're performing, and especially here in Memphis, and we'll get you on. next time you come back and see us.
Well, thank you so much. It's a real treat after watching you online. It's nice to meet you face to face, and all the crew and everybody here. Thank you.
It is a family, and we love people coming on here and hanging out with us and sharing it with all the people that tune in like you.
Well, thank you so much.
You're sure welcome. That is our show for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.